Hey everyone, Wandering as Guardian here. Welcome to my first video in this series called The Grind. I'm excited to get started. Today we're going to be looking at a race I did at Summit Point Raceway. This was the second race I did in an actual multiplayer event since getting back into sim racing. So yeah, let's take a look at this race replay and see what we can learn from it.
I got at least 3 people behind me. What were their qualifying times though? I can't see that. I know I'm capable of 123s, so I might be faster than a couple of the people here. We just gotta stay on it. This game builds anticipation like no other. It's just a silly little racing game.
P9. The track temp is 36. The air temp is 26 Celsius. Okay.
Oh, 3 people jumped the line.
Green, green, green. Got 10 laps to go.
So coming into this first corner, I'm anticipating a lot of chaos. So I'm intentionally keeping my distance,
I'm a noob too.
watching where
It's
everyone's
fine.
braking instead of
I
where
can
my
say
usual
that.
braking line is.
Stay away,
Paying
stay
attention to
away
that
from
car on the inside, giving him room.
He's going for the inside.
I'm not really worried about holding my position or anything like that. I'm really just worried about surviving this first lap. Because as you
Survived
can
the first
see,
turn, those guys didn't.
it's
guy's
chaos.
still trying
And
to
if
get
you
back on
can
track.
just make it through the
doing,
first
you
lap
jerk?
unscathed, you can usually find yourself having gained quite a
guy
few
out.
spaces.
This guy is hella slow. We got 2 more crashes. Don't hit me in the back.
So that's
You're
a
going
perfect
for yours.
example of not watching the cars in front of you and just hitting your own braking lines. When you have a lot of traffic around, you want to
Junior is now leading.
pay attention to that traffic, you know. Someone's going to hit their brakes sooner than you might be able to, but if they hit their brakes sooner than you
That's
expected,
intense.
then you're going to run into them. So
We've survived the first. I can't believe this guy made it back onto the
you're always
track.
looking ahead
That was crazy.
at the
to me.
cars in front of you, seeing what they're doing, and then adjusting your racing line and your braking points
we are
accordingly.
in. We don't know yet.
You're in fifth.
Well done, Adam. You're looking really good. Come on, keep your focus. P5.
So here, just
Go
based
for
on
it.
how this guy was driving in front of me,
Clear left.
I kind of anticipated that he was going to be braking at the 3 cones instead of the 2, and I knew already that I could brake at the 2.
Okay. let's figure this
So
turn out
just kind of
fast.
guessing that that was going to happen,
Oh my god.
I
why did
went for that
jump in
dive.
Second, I thought I was in 4th. I am stupid. Stupid. I wasn't looking at the gears. This one's flat out. Braking. We survived another turn. Big loose hairpin. Off the gas there just for the control and consistency I need. Light brake. Someone's coming out of the pits. Probably just serve a penalty.
Just done it. 123.49. The guy ahead has just done it.
Keating, you're in
123.07.
4th position.
That lap was
This guy has a blue flag. He better let me through.
So here I got a little annoyed that this blue flag didn't immediately get out of my way, especially coming right out of the pits. But it turns out that he was actually a little faster than me anyway, so it ended up working out. I basically never got the chance to pass him after that first turn.
Whatever. My car still feels a little squirrely. Maybe I'm just not doing something the same I did yesterday.
One thing I have noticed is that the difference between a race and practice is that once you're in the race, your nerves are just a little bit heightened, right? You have a little bit more adrenaline going because it's like, here it is, we're doing the real thing now. It's like band practice versus putting on the show. You know, you've played the songs 1,000 times, and now you just have to play them once very well, and that adds that little bit of pressure.
Might just be over temperature.
And so I think just my nerves being heightened kind of give the car a different feel, but it's just because I'm more sensitive to how the wheel feels.
Clear.
Don't let him get away. P5. Okay, Adam, you're gaining on this car. The gap is 0.39. Sector 1 is 0.7 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.9 off the pace. Sector 3 is a second off the pace.
One thing I want to try, if I ever get
Made it without
to
hitting
race
the
this
brakes.
track again, on that last corner I was lifting the gas, coasting from 4th gear, and then downshifting into 3rd to kind of shift some of the weight into the front wheels, and without hitting the brake. And I think what I want to try next time is just pushing the clutch in, so that instead of engine braking through that turn, I'm just coasting through it. I think I might have enough traction in the front wheels to pull that off,
You got ahead of me.
and that would help me keep a little bit
He
more
did not
speed
let
through
off the
there
gas
too.
there. But he made it through, so that's impressive.
And here, one problem I noticed I was having is that I stayed on the brakes way too long. I could have gotten on the gas sooner because there's a lot of room on that turn to accelerate
Let's
out
try
of,
this again. So
and
off the gas,
I wasn't looking far enough
downshift.
ahead. I just kind of, even though I have the VR helmet, I still kind of just noticed that I keep my
He's
I
lost
noticed
it,
that I
he's
keep
lost
my
it, he's
eyes
lost it.
planted forward. It's just weird feeling. So
Lost it.
You got a dry
Oh,
car on the
what are
left.
you doing?
I just need to remember to move my head more and really look to the end point of what I can see.
How did you crash? And you're still this
'Cause
far
that'll
in front of me.
give me
That's a
more
weird-
comfortable-
I think it's a glitchy net
I think that'll make me
thing
more
just happened
comfortable
there,
with
I
hitting the
don't know.
gas sooner.
Car on your
Left
left.
side.
Keep to the right.
Clear left.
Clear on the left.
Well done, Adam. Nice move, mate.
So that car I just passed, I rewatched the replay, and in game it was a really buggy, kind of glitchy looking experience.
5 laps to go.
But whenever I rewatched the replay, he just kind of bounced off the wall and then bounced right back onto the track. So that explains what actually happened. It was just confusing to see in person.
I'm in 3rd. Here we go. So 4th, we're going off the gas. 3rd, survive. Back on the gas.
The gap in front is now 8.9. Push now. The
So
guiding
that
light is
turn I
catching.
did not cut as hard as I should have. I should have been rubbing against that curb every single turn that I could have, but I just didn't turn in time.
Behind is catching.
And there I braked a little bit too late.
And he's caught.
so that was pretty
Let's see if I can
slow.
defend a little bit here. Not gonna go too hard, but
So I'm still nervous about trying to defend super hard, especially with these rookies. Just because you don't know how clean of a race they're going to be able to drive. And even if I'm pretty good at staying out of wrecks and making mistakes, you don't know what they're going to do. So I find it's kind of best to either just go faster than them, or if they are faster than you, just get out of their way. That way you both don't have a catastrophic event that causes your iRating scores to go down and ruin each other's races, you know? If someone's faster than you, they're faster than you. Just let them be faster than you. Blocking them in, and it isn't productive. Not at this level, anyway. Once I start getting up into more advanced races with more advanced drivers, and once I have a little bit more comfort in my ability, you know, if I'm on someone and we're both running the same lap times and we're going back and forth, then sure, at that point, I think I'd be more comfortable trying to make some defensive maneuvers.
oh man, I almost lost that.
But not today.
You gonna go? You gonna go? Do it. Do it. Do it. Just do it.
Stay on the right. Clear left. Clear.
Keep pushing, we might get him back.
Because, yeah, see, that guy was running 122s all race, and I was running 123s. He clearly caught up to me, and then once he got past me, he pulled away. So there's really no need to try to block him in or do anything silly like that.
2 laps to go, and we have.
So coming around on these last few laps, I'd like to point out some things that I've seen other drivers do in this replay. So I pulled up the replay and I switched drivers to the person who came in first, and I watched their race and I saw where their braking points were, how they were driving, put myself in their cockpit. And what I noticed was, for example, that first turn, they were braking later than me. Here, they're staying in third and coasting through.
Ahead is now 4 seconds.
But I also noticed that their shifts sounded a little different every time, so I think they were using the clutch and shifting manually, maybe with an H pattern or maybe just with the flappies, but they were still using a clutch. And it sounded like they were using their clutch to coast through some of the turns. So that gives me an idea. I have my clutch activated, so I might want to start using that more instead of engine braking so
Clear on the
hard.
left.
Thank you.
So that's just a strategy that I'm going to want to keep in mind. Here, they were off the gas as needed, kind of like I was. But then up here on this turn that was tricky to me, there's a braking point right there,
One more left to go.
which is kind of where I'm braking, but I've seen it now. There's a discoloration in the grass that is a pretty reliable braking point, and so now I know what to look for there. I can kind of get through that. And again, I think he's coasting with his clutch in. I can't see his pedal inputs, but for here example,
Right side.
I think he's just braking. I think he's braking with his clutch in, and then he's pushing it back out to
Not that badly.
accelerate, just because it doesn't sound like he's engine braking. So that's something I'm going to want to try to experiment with. I'm not saying for certain that's what's happening, but he did have a mile or two an hour faster through here. And then here, I was going flat out. He lifted the gas so that he could get all the way onto the right side of the road, and that set him up for a better turn-in on this turn, which he also took in second gear most of the time. And then this one was where he downshifted to first if he needed to. And then that kind of set him up to take pretty much all of these flat out. And then this turn he lifted. and then was back on the gas. So
Immediately regret that decision.
those are some things that I'm going to want to try to keep in mind for the next race. I've already recorded a few races
that way.
before watching this replay, so
Buena carrera.
my next few races I upload might not have that information applied just yet,
Okay, so
but it's definitely something I'm going to want to do moving forward
Well done,
is
mate. Good finish.
stop,
Alright,
watch the
then
replay
check it
right
back.
after the race, watch the other people's, do a
Nice
little
run.
bit of
Solid
analysis
work.
on it, and then go into the next race. So, yeah, that was my first race back in iRacing, playing against other people. I had been training for it for about a week, just playing against the AI, and I was pretty satisfied with that, coming in 4th place.
came in fourth place. Started in 9th, came in 4th. That's a pretty good improvement.
So yeah, if you're interested in this kind of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. If you want to follow me on Twitch, there's a link down in the description for my Twitch channel as well, where you can watch me play these races live and chat and hang out. So that's all for this one, and I'll see you on the track.